So hello guys, and welcome to our first match of the day. Welcome to the SCPH Quarantine Tournament Day number 2. And this time it's gonna be our Masters brackets coming your way here at our afternoon. It is a Friday afternoon here and now the 3rd of April. We are gonna get a bunch of these Masters players coming on, and we have 5 representatives right now from the Philippine scene. We have Nuks, PhyNix, Saipem, Paul, as well as Extinct. So our first match going to be Nuks versus PhyNix, and this is gonna be a ZVT coming our way. So in the meantime, we were able to do the draft already, very quickly done. That's what the Masters experience is truly all about. And for our BO3, it's single elimination only, guys. That's what we advertised earlier on. And maybe we'll do some changes into the future. But right here, right now, sudden death elimination all abound. We got our maps Purity Industry, Zen, and finally Simulacrum. We didn't see too much of Purity as well as Zen yesterday in the Gold to Diamond one. But it seems like both sides banning maps that they feel like their opponent can be quite strong. Very quick ban earlier on from PhyNix against Nuks in Nightshade. In the meantime, I like how Nuks banned both Eternal Empire as well as Everdream. Really good spots for the mech play of PhyNix to really run rampant. And he gets rid of that Golden Wall. I guess that's something that PhyNix doesn't want to play in the first place. And there we go. With Purity and Industry, you have those airspaces to actually go on, but the inhibition zones are going to be pesky. Also for Purity, it's pretty tight actually in a few of those grassways, so it's going to be a little dangerous actually here for our Zerg players. Zenelli, in the meantime, very small map, it's so easy to get to the other side, and a potential swarm here from Nuks going to come their way. Finally, Simulacrum. I can see that both sides might have a good edge against one another. Really, the open nature of Simulacrum allows the Zerg to find the concave on in at the same time, run on all the way to the other side. In the meantime, for the Terran, if he can get the macro on up, can defend the closest bases as possible, it's going to be a good way for him to be safe. So hello guys, are you ready to go for our first upcoming game? It's going to be an interesting one. We start with Purity Industry, Zerg versus Terran. A little different. I'm the one handling the lobby as well, but this is going to be round number 1 between PhyNix as well as Nuks. Are you guys excited for our Masters bracket? You know what it is. You know what's going to be happening into this one. Our first game of the tournament. And let's get it on this afternoon. Quick start into our tournament. It really goes to show these two players very experienced in the competitive setting. And we will have up to 1, 2, 3, 4 matches of a Masters bracket for you guys today. This is our only round 1 match. And then immediately, we will move straight into the semifinals because that's just round 2. Saipem is awaiting the winner of this round 1 match. So, unfortunately, one of these two guys is going to be going home. I mean, we are all home anyway. We're going to be going away from the tournament pretty quickly. And Purity Industry going to be a very interesting one. We were able to see some really fun shenanigans earlier on in the previous day of the SCPH Quarantine Tournament. And right now, this is going to be me, myself, and I casting this one from yesterday. Mr. Extinct joining today's festivities, and he will try to really represent the Zerg race alongside Nuks. And anyway, guys, seems like we are just loading on in, and I'm really, I was really happy to see that the Masters bracket being filled up by some very familiar names. These are really guys who were training really hard for the SEA Games and the like. For Nuks, he was one of our representatives in the SEA Games. In the meantime, PhyNix making it to the pool alongside many in this bracket. Really goes to show that these guys are the ones who are staying active in the scene, trying to play. I've seen them in international competition, but we can talk about that as soon as we get into our game number 1. And how are you guys doing tonight? I'm not in a suit whatsoever. This is just a shirt. This is a shirt and a coat. You can pretend to be fancy and all the like with a good top when you're casting. That's the trick about casting, guys. You have a proper top and you can wear whatever that is cut off from the cam. Let's win on. Hopefully we get our load on in. These guys unfortunately have not really able to get the preload on yet, but I'm just pretty hyped. I'm already awaiting what is to come into this one. Seems like it's finally time to get started into our match. Purity and Industry. One side, all the whites, all the cleanliness of the Protoss race, of those purifiers. In the meantime, Industry, if you're playing Terran, at least you have a guide to put specific buildings in specific spots. It's like starport here and everything the like. Let's get it on, let's get it done, and let's get into the game. So welcome guys to game number 1 out of 3. Good luck, have fun to both. Hopefully we have no issues. SG server, just making sure. Ask for pause if need. Yeah, that's just like how it is. Yeah, there you go. Let's go guys. Introducing first in our first best of 3. On the right hand side of Purity and Industry, it's going to be the blue Zerg of Nuks. So Nuks has been having a pretty solid time so far. Seems like though you're gonna have a little bit of disconnection. Nice. Drop. drop. Whoa. Drop. Mr. Extinct already showing on up. Bruh. Drop me. Just leave. Just leave. So we don't have any issues. There you go. Okay. So Mr. Extinct going to the lobby for some reason, but now he's gone and we won't have any more issues into this one. So let's go back to my train of thought. I was about to say, so Nuks has been having a pretty good recent tournament run. So if I remember correctly, last weekend he was able to win the Ao Dai Weekly. That is an SCPH tournament run by the Vietnamese scene / OSC, and he was able to take down the likes of many regional competitors, actually making it all the way through and taking the victory there. So he's coming off of a really good high right now, and you can say that with his experience, with his know-how, he can be considered really the best of the rest in the PH scene. But right now, we do have a contender onto the north-hand side. It is going to be the Red Terran, introducing PhyNix here in Purity and Industry.
Game paused.
So I'm gonna ask for a pause real quick, and seems like PhyNix gonna be asking for a little bit of the lag. Okay, we're just checking on the server real quick, and it really goes to show that these guys are so competitive that they are very intuitive with how their latency is working in the first place. So as we are waiting on for Mr. PhyNix to come on back, we'll just be looking at a little bit of his history as well. So he has recently joined Team Dragon, and he does play a very mech-oriented style. And yeah, okay. How do you unpause the game? How do you unpause the game, guys? Oh crap! I'll unpause again. I bobo. I bobo, dude. I did a bobo. My pause button doesn't work. Pause X key on your keybind, F10. There you go. No, come on, guys. Resume.
Game resumed.
There you go. Okay, very good. Good start. So that really goes to show I haven't really been hosting the lobby for quite a while, but let's get into this one. Finally gonna be able to talk about the action. A natural set on up here by Nuks. He already got established with both his hatchery and the pool. Well, we were talking about a number of things, and it seems like, oh, my pause isn't bound. That's why. Nice one, Daks. But PhyNix, in the meantime, will go for his own second base, already starting things off with a Marine to try and potentially defend anything that Nuks is gonna be bringing to the table. So right here, right now though, Nuks does have his initial Zerglings coming on out. He will go for a Metal Boost as well, but in the meantime, PhyNix gonna be sending it over. It's gonna be a Reaper now, trying to get a few pokes or two. By this point in time though, Overlord already set on up Nuks. Getting some really good vision, making sure that he will know what is to come. And unfortunately for PhyNix, he's gonna be on that low ground, won't be able to see that Overlord anytime soon. So we are gonna get a standard fanfare in this game. Seems like Nuks though, looking for that third base already, and into Roaches he goes. Not gonna go on to Lairtech as of yet. Seems like he wants to go for an earlier aggression, potentially with these armored units. And he does know the tendencies of PhyNix in the first place. As we do know in the PH scene, PhyNix enjoys playing the mech-oriented style, so it wouldn't be surprised if he transitions into that one earlier and earlier. As Hellions now being double pumped into this one, Orbital Command set on the second base. Purity and Industry having a little bit of both on opposite sides. So for Nuks, we have seen him really expand on his micro play. He has always been solid at popping that macro, and by this point in time, he's gonna get a lot of roaches coming our way. Might just be a push to look for the end-all at the very start, even saving that drone. Just really ignoring the Reaper right now, microing the drones that are pelleted by pistols away. Spore Crawler gonna set on up, 2 of them in fact, but that is gonna be one of them finally going down. There we go with the cancel, sacrificing a few minerals along the way. Cluster Bomb right now, bouncing those queens. But the creep strike gonna be enough to potentially go for the gap close. Will it make it? It's not gonna happen. But it doesn't matter right now what that Reaper is doing, because Nuks having a lot coming the way of PhyNix. Is PhyNix ready for this? Because he is only on 13's army right now. It's going to be a surprise, a reckoning here from Nuks already going into that mineral line. Gets rid of the SCVs pretty much instantaneously. Onto the natural he goes. Things looking really dicey here for PhyNix. He only has Hellions up on top. And he is desperately trying to get both a Siege Tank and a Banshee. Going to be good units against these roaches. Ravager though in behind, the bust through the supply depot. The BAM already bursting on the bunkers, trying to set on up, looking to macro up, looking to micro with his macro. There we go though with the cancel. SCVs are pulled, and it's looking like absolute chaos already in the base of poor PhyNix. Nuks able to go for the early aggression on with the roaches and the Ravagers, not faking out any kind of bases. He went for a third, but just unanswered. It seems like the Reaper able to see that the roaches were coming, but PhyNix having absolutely nothing right now to try and counter things out. He will be desperate, going for those meals to try and get as much minerals as possible, but Zerg is now funneled on in yet again, and Nuks even droning on up in behind. Victory goes over to our Zerg player, and that is that one. Well played, guys. There you go. Game numero uno coming our way. And for Mr. Mizzle, you know, just in case if you can set up the next lobby with the game heart, it's gonna be very, very useful. Just search it over in the mods. It's how you get things done. But that was game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and let's update our results real quick. Nuks with the first map victory here, very, very quickly done. We just started this tournament, guys, and already we get a map done and dusted. But here we go, Purity and Industry taken by Nuks, the Zerg, able to get the swarm on, able to get things going in the first place. And right now we are gonna get ready for map number 2. We'll be right back though, just making sure everything is a-okay. And stick around, Nuks vs PhyNix game number 2 coming your way. Okay guys, welcome back, and it seems like we are going to be getting into game number 2 into this one. It's time for Zen LE instead. So again, we talked about this just a little earlier on. It really is a little more tight in terms of the maps, and it is on the smaller side as well. So it might be a little easier here for Nuks to get the swarm on. PhyNix in the meantime can go for the wall on up, especially trying to cover his other flank, try to move on into a potential third pretty early. I wouldn't be surprised if Nuks does the same thing. But for Nuks, he is already with the one map advantage, as we were able to show off earlier on that he did take Purity and Industry by storm. Seems like though we are going to be getting started into Zen LE. Quick little reminder of our maps in this best of 3. An advantage right now for our Zerg player. Needs to get just one more map to move on to go for a race mirror matchup against Saipem. Will it happen though? We haven't been able to see much Zerg from the Philippine scene, but hey, it seems like the Masters bracket has this one covered. And we are going to be loading on in Zen LE. I, for one, don't really like this map too much. I have this vetoed pretty handily. It's a little difficult to navigate if you're not used to it in the first place. But hey, let's get into the game, let's get into the action, and let's get things done. Into the map we go. So welcome back guys, and Nuks right now with the 1-0 advantage. We'll see how this is gonna pan out here and now between our two players. And PhyNix early on pretty much caught with his pants down. It seems like he was going to go for the tech on up all the way to his standard BC against Zerg, but Nuks was like, okay, since you're not really building enough units in behind and you haven't really harassed me as much as I would expect, I can go for these early roaches, and these roaches can just steamroll on in if you're not gonna respect it. PhyNix earlier on was able to see a roach warren, if I remember correctly, with the jetpack wielder, but didn't really react to it, just let it happen, and there he go, he gets punished. But hey, into the game we go right here, right now. Introducing first on the bottom left, it's gonna be our blue Zerg Nuks. And his opponents on the top right. One map down, needs to take this one to force a game number 3, a decider in this match. It's gonna be the red Terran of PhyNix. So it seems like PhyNix gonna be changing things up, and into the cheesy antics we go. Double pumping out these barracks. Gonna be proxy racks into this one. The real question is though, will this be the Marines or will this be the Reaper? Seems like PhyNix is getting a little bit of gas. Can potentially get a Reaper on, and also potentially get a Marauder as well. But against the Zerg race, you can go for these Marines. You don't need the jetpacks, you don't need that mobility. If you have enough, you can. The start step, it will be pretty effective. It's gonna be a little bit different right here, right now. PhyNix earlier on was like, okay, I'm gonna try to defend with bunkers. This time, I'm gonna try to attack with bunkers, but PhyNix actually gonna bring the Zerglings on to where the bunker is gonna be, and right here, right now, the Brain gonna get outnumbered, looking to go get on away. It seems like the cheese not gonna work out pretty handily here for PhyNix, as there is the shutdown already. Pretty big mistake there from PhyNix as he tries to run on away with that SCB. We're gonna potentially trick Nuks actually just a little bit by putting on over onto the other side, but for Nuks, that is usually his paths to scout things out. And with a very early cancel, this has to be PhyNix either committing onto more Marines or looking to back on out instead. Very different right now for PhyNix. He doesn't have a wall on his ramp, so if there is going to be a run-on by, it's going to be very vulnerable. In the meantime, Nuks though, respecting his opponent and the racks in position. He goes for a Spine Crawler, looking to defend in the natural already. Zerglings though, taking the brunt of the damage, and Nuks looking to try and get a few more going. But it seems like PhyNix playing into the map, knows the mineral field, gonna be making them a funnel into this one. PhyNix in the meantime, floating one of those barracks up, gets that vision on, wants to go for the Overlord, make sure that he will mitigate the vision advantage. It seems like it's time to get out of dodge here for our Terran player. So Nuks gonna be sealing the gap. Perfect way to actually try and put a stop to it. He's the one who walls on in instead, but this will really allow Nuks to keep playing his macro game and move on forward to a potential third base. In the meantime though, factory now built up by PhyNix. He's a little behind right now. He doesn't have a second base whatsoever, and with an early commitment on those Marines, He wasn't able to really work her on up SCVs at the low points. Nuks in the meantime, pretty quick with those eggs, has some queens in position as well to get a little bit of more larva going. And even with the army lead, he's still with the advantage on both numbers. Anyway, we'll see how this is gonna go as here comes the Zerglings trying to get the swarm on in. Nuks looking for an easy victory, but in this instance, it seems like PhyNix already ready in position to defend. Good call to actually try and get in the way into this one. The factory in position, blocking out the offensive. And what is going to be the plan here for PhyNix? He is going to go for the BC yet again. In the meantime, seems like Nuks going to go for the Carapace upgrade, getting a little more speed onto these Overlords. Good for scouting and potential drops into the future. So right now, Nuks does have a pretty good idea of what to go on with potential from these Overlords as well as the scouting information. He can go for Nidus actually, because he only needs to deal with one base right now. Hellions though, going to be coming on over yet again. In the meantime, 3 base is the way to go here for our Zerg player, and Roaches. They were the ones that allowed Nuks to pretty much steamroll his opposition. This time, going to be a good part of the backbone for our Zerg player. And the real question is though, where is Battlecruiser? So Fusion Core already set up here by PhyNix, and Nuks gonna be running on in with that Overlord, but he knows he has to be wary. That's why he got the Carapace upgrades. He desperately needs to actually get the information on to know what PhyNix is up to. But with the bulk of Marines right now, that's a really good anti-air coming into this one. So Nuks gonna go around onto the other side, gonna be able to get the transition on. Battlecruiser though queued up already. The Marines gonna be going on the outside, and there you go. There's the scouting. Will it make it? Can Nuks actually see the orange? Yes, he does. The Fusion Core is spotted, and immediately Spore Crawlers come on up. As a really good read there from Nuks. He understood that he had to find a way to get on through. He could have went blind and guessed that PhyNix was going to go for his biases, for his standards, just like the BC. And we haven't really been able to talk about PhyNix too much lately. I've seen him again in a few regional tournaments. He has joined Team Dragon, making sure that he is looking to represent in the SA region. And right here, right now, he's going for the second phase for map control, trying to go for the Zerglings. Looking forward to surround already. Siege tech, getting some shots on. And in the end, that is going to be enough for the Zerglings to all go down. Pretty close there. If the Marines weren't protecting that siege tank, well, it could have been a disaster there for PhyNix. So it really goes to show that Cascade on in right here, right now from our Terran player, looking to play as defensive as possible. In the meantime, Baneling that's actually set on up instead. Was I mistaken, or did he cancel that Roach Warren and turn it into a Baneling nest? I digress though. I like this here from Nuks. If he can go for the Baneling drops onto that main base with basically the Overlords in position, well, that is going to be potential to really harass his opponent to oblivion. But it seems like it is going to be the 3-base Muta strategy. So he focuses on with the ground game, using only the Zerglings and the Banelings, committing all that gas basically on Mutalisk instead. And at the same time, +1/+1 coming our way here for our Zerg player. It's all about timings here, and now he can really harass with the Mutas in behind and put some pressure on with some really tough Zerglings as well as speedy Banelings coming his opponent's way. Anyway though, Nuks right now gonna be littering the battlefield with Overlords, just making sure that there isn't gonna be any drop shenanigans, or if the Battlecruiser is gonna be retreating in one way or the other. By now though, that BC did go down earlier on, and Nuks having such a good time. He's already going for 6 extractors into this one, really looking for a lot of gas to build up his fleet of bats. And he went for the scan here from PhyNix. He's trying to see what his opponent is up to, but he doesn't know the Spire is coming. He doesn't even know the Baneling Nest is there in the first place. He's unable to get on the outside. And PhyNix losing out in the information war in this instance. Nuks in the meantime, gonna go for the Baneling bust it's a Baneling drop rather, into that main base. Gonna be loading this one up, and the Overlord already ready with the Ventral Sacks. Is it gonna be a 2-prong assault? I like this here from Nuks, using the map as much as possible. And in the meantime, it's gonna be a fleet here. Did PhyNix see the Overlord coming in the first place? Nuks gonna be sacrificing this 4th base just to go for the attack instead. Gets the cancel on, the drone gonna die on over. But here comes the reckoning, here comes the trouble, and the SCVs immediately pull because he knows what's coming. Nuks still gonna go for the drop though. 1, 2. You get 3 kills over there. In the meantime, Marines have to evacuate. They're inside the medevacs right now. A few of them dropped on over. The Baneling though, gonna go for the roll on in, gets a few of them along the way. And in this instance, it's gonna be Nuks really trying to distract his opponent as much as possible, as it's time for the natural to have the Baneling bombs. And boom goes the dynamite. That is gonna be the Zerglings as well as the Banelings making it happen. Third time's the charm here for Nuks, and assassinates a fleet of Marines in that one medevac. All of that just to distract his opponent. Really goes to show that Nuks is firing on all cylinders right now, especially on his micro. Really putting PhyNix on notice. And now with the Mutas in position, there's no missile turret whatsoever as well. PhyNix has to run on away, but this is looking absolutely dire for our Terran player. His cheese didn't work, and is heavily behind in both numbers. Half workers, almost 1/4 the army, and everything getting torn apart. It seems like Nuks gonna be booking us a date of Zerg versus Zerg, unless PhyNix can really bail himself out in this instance. Yet again though, it's gonna be the Banelings coming our way. Mutas waiting on the outside as well. The orbital command cannot go down. It seems like the satellite dish not gonna be able to see that one coming. And here comes the thunder, here comes the bats. It's gonna be a screeching assault from those glaive worms as the Banelings right now coming on over. PhyNix gonna call it, doesn't want to see all his units die. And we have touted PhyNix as the mech master, but it seems like he wasn't even given an opportunity to build any of that industry. Well played there to Nuks, and he takes the 2-0 victory in our series. He moves on over to round number 2 and will face off against Saipem. But by this point in time, guys, let's just look for a quick little recap in our results. Zen as well as Purity Industry taken there by Nuks. Simulacrum not even played into this one. A little bit of that score screen at the tail end. GG, well played is called good on for these two players. And overall, it was really just Nuks finding these opportunities yet again. He saw that in Purity Industry, PhyNix was way too busy looking for the tech on-up, looking for the BC. He took his opportunity to go for the roaches, and basically that's more or less an all-in. If that failed, and the BC was able to get on that would have been a lot of damage coming to the ground game, and then he could tactical warp onto the other side and really pressure Nuks to oblivion. But hey, the roaches and the ravagers work. He got the bust onto the supply depot, pushed on forward. And it seemed like PhyNix had the right idea. He went for a siege tank as well as Banshee, but he didn't really use the scouting information that he got with the Reaper, so it's highly unfortunate. Or was he able to scout it out in the first place? But I digress. Compared it to Zen, where for PhyNix, he was the one who was trying to hide his own strats, but unfortunately, not in the right place, not in the right time, and at the same time, that's bringing the Zerglings to where the bunker was gonna be with the SCP. He already had the right idea. The hatchery being built on over, didn't have the vision, but it kind of just blew up in his face, and he was on the back foot, on the back pedal for so long. The Baneling drops as well as the Mutas providing too much pressure. Nuks willing to sacrifice one or two big booms to find the biggest one of them all. And once he went to the natural, he realized he could take down the missile turret, allow the Mutas to swoop on in. He took care of the Marines freely, and that was really all she wrote there. Anyway guys, here we go yet again with our map screen, and we will be right back. We'll be setting on up for our next series. That's going to be round number 2. That's going to be semifinals number 1 already. It's going to be Nuks versus Saipem coming your way.